Average young man. He has no ambitions. He indulges in instant gratification activities like video games, porn, and junk food, and he works a dead-end job. Jeffrey would feel so much more depressed and hopeless if he actually allowed himself to face his life. But through constant stimulation, Jeffrey never realizes one brutal fact. He is deeply unhappy. Adonis. Adonis has reached the pinnacle of manhood. He never even shows it off to you, but we can observe it. He's there with his beautiful, feminine wife who respects him so dearly. He's successful, wealthy, happy, but he's also humble. And look what he's doing. He's helping Jeffrey. Modern men are not happy. Not because of toxic masculinity or because they conceal their emotions,
but because they're suppressing it. Because you're not supposed to act, you're not supposed to do what you want to do. Men are not happy because we're told to be a slave, and most men cave into the shaming tactics. I think guilt. And actually, shout out to Justin Waller, one of the War Room commanders and one of Andrew's close friends. Justin Waller explained it perfectly when we were in Bucharest. And he's like, the guilt is how they get most men, the shaming tactics. And you've seen how that happened to me, like the swinger party shit, or a lot of the shit that I've done because of the guilt and the shame. You can't let that suppress what you naturally want to do. Like people calling me arrogant when I was 14 for wanting to be a YouTuber or speaking provocatively or offending people. I didn't let that get to me, but that is the #1 tactic the Matrix uses to prevent men from finding their true power level.
Emotions, but because they have lost that which made them men. Our modern lifestyle is a recipe for depression and unhappiness for both men and women. Men and women both have very big problems these days. But as a man, I can speak for other men. And from what I've seen in the world, men aren't happy. Now, of course, as you go through your own self-improvement journey, you've been going to the gym and setting some goals and achieving them, you start to feel happier and happier and happier. But you look to your right, you look to your left, and most of the other guys that you see day to day in the gym, as you walk past them, you see them in the cars, they look so sad. Why are men so unhappy? Look around. That guy that you see who seems so depressed today, you know, he's a 40-year-old, he's kind of chubby. He hasn't had sex with his wife in 4 months. He can't remember the last time he woke up with morning wood.
And then they tell you the solution to this is that you have mental health problems and you need to go to therapy and you need to take Xanax, antidepressants, that you have anxiety. No, it's because you're just not living based on your masculine imperative. You're not doing what you want to do.
His stomach keeps getting bigger and bigger, but his arms get smaller and smaller. And this isn't to body shame him or, you know, to make him feel bad for us to be mean, but this is like his own observations. This man, of course, wakes up every day, looks into the mirror, and can't help but feel upset. Why is it so hard to maintain an okay physique? He goes to the gym 3-4 times a week still. Sure, he should take more responsibility, but is there something bigger going on? Perhaps the destruction of men's testosterone? How about that teen over there, 14 years old? He should be having a good life, right? He's still pretty much a child. He should be, you know, full of life and happiness. Well, he's got a TikTok addiction. In fact, how much he uses TikTok has got to the point that
Yo, you see that little Sneako? Hey!
This young man, this 14-year-old boy, has actually developed Tourette's. And I don't say this as a funny joke or anything. This isn't funny. What I'm about to say is not funny. But this boy and the girls around him, they genuinely can't help themselves to have like some kind of TikTok Tourette's. Well, they'll just be like studying and just out of nowhere do like a dance move without even meaning to.
That is funny, bro. You're studying and then you fucking...
He's broke.
Yo, that's some bot shit, bro. If you just malfunction, you're just there typing, oh shit.
His attention span from this endless...
Is that real?
But let's go younger because, you know, children are full of life. That 8-year-old boy, he's 8 years old. He's going to go play with his friend, isn't he? That 8-year-old boy has a porn addiction. We live in some dark times. You know, Andrew Tate took the world by storm, didn't he? He really garnered a lot of attention. And there's like people who like him, who hate him, everything, right? The kind of people who really disliked him and said he was a misogynist and a bad role model for men. They said that, you know, he's a symbol of the patriarchy and that he's evil and all this. I'm not sure. I don't think he symbolizes toxic masculinity. I don't think he became popular because of this narrative of like, yeah, we live in the patriarchy. I think he became popular because there isn't enough masculinity. You see men like Andrew Tate, myself, Sneako, Iman Gaji, like, you know, these like young...
And you guys were hating on Iman Gaji so much, bro. Yo, bro. Wow, imagine that collab. Hamza, I don't know why you don't want to do it. This guy's so busy doing taekwondo and shit. Iman wants us to pull up to Cape Town and do that collab, which would be so necessary right now with Andrew in jail, bro.
Masculinity. You see men like Andrew Tate, myself, Sneako, Iman Gaji, like, you know, these like young male role models who seem to
tell Hamza that we gotta do this collab, bro.
Be very controversial. I'm quite sure that if the men of the world were happy, we'd all be unemployed. Or, you know, we'd go do something else. But we wouldn't have gained like the popularity, the attention that we have, you know, with this message of, you know, men improving themselves, becoming strong again. If men were happy and just completely fine with their lives, why did we reach 1.5 million subscribers in the self-improvement niche that very rarely goes this high? Why did we get to 1.5 million when just 2 months ago we celebrated 1 million? Why are we growing so fast? Is it because of the animations at the start? You know, Jeffrey Adonis, they're pretty nice. They're really nice, actually. And that really helps people to like digest the message, makes it kind of entertaining and stuff. Is it me sat in a bathrobe? I think I'm like pretty inspiring when I talk in, you know, this kind of like manner of, yeah, like let's go do some push-ups. But I don't think the majority of our success has come just because I'm so amazing. And, you know, this bathrobe makes me look so good. Or like, oh yeah, those cartoons of Jeffrey and Adonis are so good. If we made this channel 10 years ago, I don't think we would have popped off anywhere near as much as we did.
No.
It's because men aren't happy. It's because a man's life in this modern day isn't actually that valuable. It's because
that's why I had that Pink Floyd poster back in Brooklyn right behind me, because what's the quote? Hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way. What is it? Men lead lives of quiet desperation. Men suffer in silence and they don't really know what the problem is, but it's just not doing what you want to do. It's that simple.
There isn't actually that much good, that much hope, a reason to live for a lot of...
You know, Myron's coming on 20 minutes, by the way, so we're going to have a W rant. He's going to be yelling about this shit.
And it gets dark when we talk about this.
Thanks for the 5, Mavincio. Just wanted to remind you, Sneako, I've been watching you for years and you have helped me in my life tremendously. You're a good part of history. I could not care less if others disagreed. Thank you, bro. Thanks a lot.
Because as much as we don't want men to do anything to hurt themselves, the truth is, quite frankly, a lot of guys actually don't have much to live for. I don't say that to be condescending, but I want you to think of like an average guy's life. He's single. He doesn't have a wife or kids. And, you know, there's a lot of guys who say they don't want to get in a relationship. They don't want kids and stuff. Yeah, I was going to make a separate video about this, but I'll just tell you very quickly now. I've been traveling around last year quite a lot. I think I went to like 8 countries, right? For the first time in my life, I actually like really traveled, went to different countries, different cultures. I went to a bunch of places. I saw a bunch of different kinds of people, different cultures, ages, demographics, everything, right? I saw a lot of variety in people. You know, one thing I really picked up of
is there's the same problem. Men have the same issues all over the world.
Most people didn't seem happy. There was one particular point when I would see happiness and joy in people around me. In all these different countries, in all these different cultures, there was usually one theme where when I'd walk past people, they seemed happy and they would smile. And that was if they were with family or friends. I can't even tell you if I ever...
I noticed this too when I did those meetups. I don't know if anybody in the chat came to them. I did meetups in 5 countries. And shout out to Athens for that free Top G channel. Athens was the most fun one. That's my intro video, like a bunch of videos from that Athens meetup. But I did one in Barcelona, in London, Monastiraki in Athens, Amsterdam, and I forgot the last one, but I don't want to keep thinking. But yeah, there was a common theme, and I noticed the exact same thing. And I did Q&As in all these places, and that's even my profile picture on Twitter, me sitting down in London talking to people. And there's this common theme. There's like a wave of depression throughout pretty much everybody. That everybody's trying to like look for something greater in life. Everybody wants to find some bigger meaning. Everybody is a little bit unhappy. They're like, what do I do? Like, I don't really like, what's wrong? Like there's something wrong.
Saw a singular person, like, you know, just an individual going somewhere looking happy with a smile on his face. But consistently, the happiest people that I saw were families. And also sometimes I'd see like friends, 2 guys or a couple of girls or something, laughing, giggling. A lot of people have abandoned the importance of family these days. And it might not seem important to you. Maybe it's just not in your mind right now. You're focused on other things, which can be good. You know, develop yourself up before you consider that. But just 100 years ago, for all of mankind, we actually got into families at age 18, 20. From the caveman days to the industrial revolution, we started our family with a woman and children, early 20s at the latest. For a lot of cultures, it was actually like teens, mid-teens, late teens. That seems like really weird and barbaric and stuff. And I think perhaps a part of, you know, the reason why that seems too early these days is financial. But let's just think, for all of our history as men, we would have had a woman and children age 18, 19. And that's just...
We're all financial slaves now.
Changed in the last 100 years. What's that going to do to us? It seems kind of nice. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I don't want kids right now. Okay, fair enough. It seems nice. But just think about this for a second. You would have left school or left, you know, some kind of training and known that you were probably going to get married within 2 to 3 years from now. Just think about how hard you would have worked. Do you really think you would have come home and just slacked and, you know, just wasted time? Or do you think you would have been really disciplined and purposeful? A couple of years later, okay, you actually meet the woman you can have children with, you get married in a religious way, mostly, you know, through the cultures for the last like 2,000 years, it's all been religious. You have a wife that you've married, officially married in front of the eyes of God, in front of everyone in your town. They're all celebrating. There's no such thing as a divorce. You can't can't get divorced if God's what you marry. And now you're gonna have your first child, your second child, your third child, age 21. And it seems really scary, of course, because that seems really young to us now. But of course, when we knew that it was gonna be at this age, of course, you know, you kind of mature faster, don't you? Imagine age 21 having 3 children, back when you would have been able to actually support them with your 21-year-old salary in some like factory or some farm or something. Do you genuinely think that that would have been a bad thing? I think only if we hold our current bias of what the world is like right now. And you know, if I think back to when I was 21, I think, no, I couldn't have had children, never mind 3 children. You know, I was a drunk, I was just partying, I was just playing video games, I was just trying to like sleep with girls and stuff. Yeah, of course. But if I knew from birth that, okay, you know, I'm gonna get married at age 18, I would have much...
Yo, Kansas City Mac put a quote right here from 808s and Heartbreak. My friend showed me pictures of his kids, and all I could show him was pictures of my cribs, because that's what makes us happiest, is family, is community, is having people around you. And Chad, that's why we a family, man. That's why we a family. That's why we not lonely. Bro, this is cringe.
Matured faster, wouldn't I? That kind of lifestyle would have changed everything for us. Because I don't know the exact statistics on this, but from what I can kind of imagine, if you saw some data of like, you know, humans' happiness, we would have seen it at a good level. Around the 1900s, late 1900s, it just starts to go down and down and down and down and down and down. Suicide starts slow. Late 1900s goes up and up and up and up. Year 2000, 2010, 2020, sharp rise. So is this all just one big coincidence? And yeah, family's not important. You know, there's just something else that's making us unhappy or something. That's for you to figure out for yourself. I'm not going to pressure you to, you know, have children right now. 100% don't have them up until you're absolutely ready. But this is just in my mind of what probably could be one of the major sources of unhappiness for us. But there's more to talk about, because remember I mentioned testosterone before. That guy that we imagined, some 40-year-old guy who's pretty overweight, and he wakes up day in, day out without morning wood. He notices his arms are just getting smaller. He doesn't pack on muscle mass like he used to. He just feels weak and tired. He's got more anxiety, depressive thoughts in his mind, which are symptoms of low testosterone. It doesn't seem so crazy for a 40-year-old to be like this, right? But I think what is crazy is that there's 20-year-olds with those symptoms. There's 20-year-olds who wake up with no more...
We gym, chat. No, 10 push-ups right now, chat. No. I don't want to be a skinny fat soy boy.
Not at all. 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, men going through puberty that have such elevated levels of estrogen or however the hormones work. They've developed breasts. I was literally one of these kids, age 14, 15. I developed man boobs, and not from like fat. I wasn't a fat kid. I was, you know, a little bit chubby, but it wasn't fat. It was literally like breast mass that I developed because my hormones were all messed up. I wasn't developing like how a male should. Do you think I would have been happy around that time? 15 years old, seeing everyone else grow up. The girls are growing up and they're developing in the right way. Some of the guys are growing up, developing. You know, like there's that one guy in your high school class who had like a full beard, grew up to like 6'2" at like age 14 when everyone else still looks like little boys. He's there doing like multiple rounds with their future wife, bro. And we also need to get a little bit black-pilled here, because there's a lot of guys out there who are getting absolute
L black pill, L wheat waffles.
No intimacy, affection, attention, attraction from women. None. You know, it used to be 100 years ago that if you were a hard worker and at least not like physically deformed, that you'd be fine as a guy who'd get married, no problem. And even those guys who were like literally deformed, I don't say this is an insulting way, you know, just I imagine, I don't know the statistics or anything, but even those guys that literally were disabled and everything, they were still getting married.
Chat, you done? Who's done? Ivory Dreams?
To good women. These days, it seems to be the case that you need to be at least 6'4", higher income than 90% of the entire world, never mind just your country. You know, the standards to be eligible for a woman's attraction seem to be very high these days. And so a large amount of guys are black-pilled. The black pill is kind of this term where a guy feels like there's absolutely no hope that he can get girls. It's where he thinks, okay, even if I get into self-improvement and I build a really nice body, there's still no chance for me. Usually this is related to his genetics as well. So it might be a guy who's, for example, 5'3", really short, and he said, okay, no, even if I build like a 10 out of 10 really muscular body, girls are still not going to be attracted to me, so there's no point. I don't agree with that message at all. I think even if a guy is 5'3", if he makes progress to like a 10 out of 10 body for him, which is, you know, like lean, muscular, not like huge bodybuilder, but, you know, like lean and athletic that women consistently rate most attractive in men, it would certainly increase his chances. It wouldn't guarantee him anything, but if his chances to attract a woman were like 0.85%, maybe it'd go up to like 1.5%, for example, which is still like a double boost. Couple that then with the personality change that he would go through from years of dis...
Yo, Myra's here.